Hey all. So I just wanted to make a really quick video over another common pain point that I see, which is placement. So as you can see here, we have a very basic app. We just have some header content. Then we have a couple widgets. We have a slider and we have a button. And there are a couple ways that we can, if we want these to appear side by side, there are a couple ways that we can do that in native Streamlit without having to get into anything more complex like CSS. So that's it. So let's get into it. All right. So if we take a look at the actual code right here, you can see that it's pretty basic. We're just importing Streamlit, then we're just doing the title, the sidebar, and select box. I know, not very interesting. So that's when we run the first app. So I have two other app files here I wanted to point out. So in the second file, what we're going to do, I'm doing this just because I can't type quickly, so I'd rather do this. It's basically the same thing. Now, this is what Copilot or whatever coding agent that you're using, Claude Code, is going to give you most of the time. So right here, we're using the command st.columns. So what that's going to do is it's going to divide the container that you have into two equal parts. So you can have one container for the slider or one column for the slider and one column for the select box. Just run that and see how that looks. So we want to now run app2.py. So if we bring that over here, then refresh the page. So you can see we have the slider and present here. If you do a quick inspect on Google Chrome DevTools, you can see that so you have this container here which sets up two equal width columns. So you have one st.column, one and another st.column. Okay. So that's good. That gets us a little bit towards our goal. Now let's look at a little bit more advanced example. Let's say we want to add in some spacing instead. So we don't want the columns to be equal parts. We want to insert a little bit of a spacer beforehand so that one of these columns is essentially bare. You can see we have a list here that we specify. So each entry in this list corresponds to a certain width in decimals. So we have a 20% width, a 40% width, and a 40% width. And then what we're doing is st.columns. If we look back on app2.py, see we get call equals here, and what that is that's going to make a list object in Python. So then we have to reference that by indices. So column 0 and then column 1. Instead, what we can do is we can just use tuple unpacking here to actually say that like these are the variables that are going to be equal to these columns. And that just makes it a little bit nicer for us to be able to actually reference them. So we can specify that the slider column will be the second column in here, so 40% width, and the present column here will be 40% width. So if we now stop that and run app3.py, see, now what we have is we have a spacer in between here, and then these two columns will take up the remainder of the space. So if we look at our dev tools, so what's happening is we have three st columns here, and then the first one is going to be only 20% width, and then the other two are going to be both twice the width of the spacer column. So using these decimals here, this gives you a little bit more control over the exact width that you want to specify. So that's all that I wanted to cover in this quick video. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.